Hello and welcome, my friends. Today, we have some updates on the situation in Bahmut City. There have been some minor changes, but they are important. The railway station, which is on the railway line, was taken by the Ukrainians. This is the second time that the Russian forces have lost control of this area. Russia is advancing in Bahmut City, but very slowly. The destroyed bridge across the railway tracks has been confirmed, and Wagner forces are stuck in the area without supplies. They cannot fight, and they cannot send tanks and heavy armored vehicles. I expect them to advance to Hiromobot in the nearby future. The Ukrainians have built defense lines near the Chroma Web, but Russia still has some superiority in artillery and armored vehicles. The Russian Defense Ministry deployed their troops in that area, and they need to take Bahmut. There is a conflict between the ministry and Wagner, but the aim is dramatic, so they are pushing all their forces on the other side of the city. There have been no major advancements of either the Russian or Ukrainian forces in the area. Our defense lines are holding, and there have been no advancements of the Russian forces into the city or even in the area around Avdiivka, where they started to advance across the highway. Yesterday and today, they took one more field on the northern part of this area. Before we go to the latest news and events, let me introduce you to the partner and sponsor of my channel, Atlas VPN. Last month, they came out with a big offer for my subscribers and viewers, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium with a great discount. If you sign up for this offer, you will get it for just $1.83 per month. The deal is time-limited, so hurry up and join the club. Atlas VPN helped me get access to Downfall, a movie available on Netflix about the Boeing 737 MAX crashes. Air crash investigations are sensitive topics and restricted in some countries. With Atlas VPN, I can virtually change my location to any country, so I have unlimited access to streaming services like Netflix. It might also help you avoid price discrimination on the internet when you want to buy something like airline tickets or book apartments on Booking. Now let's get back to the latest news. Macgregor's released a new video of his old map, but there are no changes on that map. He says that they want to advance towards the Dnieper River after they penetrate the Ukrainian defense mines. At least that's their main goal. Someone photoshopped Macron's face, and Macgregor said that if he were a bird, he might fly away to Paris, and __ on the Eiffel Tower. The main idea for the imperialistic Russia is to go to Paris, Berlin, and London. They want to expand their empire, but they are still struggling in Bahmut City. It's highly likely that the Ukrainian counteroffensive will be successful. Speaking about the future, Ukraine recently destroyed lots of their Russian anti-radar systems, also known as electronic warfare, or rather systems used to provide interference for navigation or other systems. Similar events happened earlier last year before the major advancement of Ukrainian forces in the Kharkiv region and before the advancement in here. Ukraine needs to make Russia blind before the major advancement, and radar systems are the eyes of the Russian army. We received information from our Air Force Command that Ukraine will obtain all the required Patriot systems after Easter, which is tomorrow. We expect to receive everything we need to close the skies for the Russian army next week. We need around 2 weeks to deploy those systems, and then we can start the counterattack. The impact of the conflict on civilians and the humanitarian crisis in the region. As we all know, conflicts can have devastating effects on the lives of innocent people, especially civilians. In this video, we will take a closer look at how conflicts affect civilians and lead to a humanitarian crisis in the region. Firstly, let's discuss the impact of conflicts on civilians. When conflicts arise, civilians often become the primary targets. They are forced to leave their homes, and their lives are put in danger. Many civilians lose their lives, while others suffer from injuries or psychological trauma. The impact of conflicts on civilians is not limited to physical harm. Many civilians lose their livelihoods, and they struggle to meet their basic needs, such as food, water, and shelter. Secondly, let's talk about the humanitarian crisis that arises due to conflicts. When conflicts occur, the normal functioning of society is disrupted. This disruption leads to a shortage of essential goods and services, such as food, water, and medical supplies. Humanitarian organizations often struggle to provide assistance to those in need, as the conflict can make it difficult for aid workers to access affected areas. Moreover, conflicts can also lead to displacement, where people are forced to leave their homes and become refugees in their own country or in neighboring countries. Displacement can have long-term effects on the lives of people, and the situation often worsens when people are unable to return home even after the conflict has ended. The history of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The relationship between these two nations dates back centuries, and tensions have boiled over into several conflicts, with the latest being in 2014. In this video, we will explore the roots of the conflict and its history. To understand the current conflict, we must first look at the history of Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine has been under Russian rule at different times throughout history, with the most recent period of Russian control being during the Soviet era. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine gained independence in 1991. In 2014, tensions between Ukraine and Russia escalated, leading to the annexation of Crimea by Russia. This followed a pro-Russian uprising in the eastern Ukrainian regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, which resulted in a conflict between Ukrainian government forces and pro-Russian separatists. The roots of the conflict can be traced back to a variety of factors. One factor is the question of identity. Ukraine has a long and complex history, with a diverse population that includes ethnic Ukrainians, Russians, and other groups. Some Ukrainians identify more with Russia, while others identify more with Europe. Another factor is geopolitics. Ukraine is located at a strategic crossroads between Russia and Europe, and both sides have long sought to exert influence over the country. The conflict can also be seen as part of a broader struggle between Russia and the West for influence in the region. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia has deep roots in their history and relationship. It is a complex issue with no easy solutions. However, understanding the history of the conflict and its underlying causes can help us to better understand the current situation and work towards a peaceful resolution. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to leave your comments and thoughts below.